What's up, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the What Up Doe Show. It's your boy Dame D, and I am back with another one. Today it's Freestyle Friday, y'all. So we're gonna wait for a few people to check in and chime in before we start up to tonight's conversation. What's going on, everybody out there? Hopefully, everybody had a great, having a great Friday, starting off to the weekend. So I'm gonna wait for a few people to come in, and while we waiting on our guests to come into the show, I'm gonna check my audio and video, make sure that we can be heard over here. So what's going on, everybody out there? What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? What's going on, Instagram? You know, we got a few interesting conversations. I should say topics that we're going to be talking about tonight. So come join us. We're going to have great fun, good conversation. You know, like usual, like always, I should say. You know, hopefully everybody had a good Friday. Let me check this out. So what's going on? Okay, there we go. We can be heard over there on Facebook. I want to say what up, though, to all my Facebook family and friends. How everybody doing? Hopefully, everybody had a great weekend. You know, we're gonna start off with an interesting conversation, or topic, I should today. You know, a lot of you guys probably heard about this. We're gonna be talking about, and I'm actually getting ready I'm gonna look that up. So I'm gonna wait for a few people to jump in, and we're gonna go ahead and start it up. And let me find that. Okay, so I'm gonna start this up. I got the you know what? I'm gonna put that in my video and try to play that too. You know, so like I said, what up to everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram? We are live, waiting on a few people to come in before we start the conversation up. Hopefully everybody had a great Friday today. Hopefully this Michigan weather warm up this weekend. We'll get a little bit of, a little blessing with a little bit of warm weather this weekend. You know, we a few days ago, I believe that was Monday, we may have gotten up to 70, and then from there, it looked like we went back to winter. You know, but those are the type of things that we dealing with this Michigan weather is bipolar. Yep. So I sent my invites out. It's going to be an interesting conversation. I would love to see everybody's thoughts and their opinion about this topic in this conversation. You know, this is kind of for everybody in the city of Detroit. This topic that we're going to be talking about tonight. You know, and everybody needs to weigh in. I would love to hear everybody's opinion and thoughts on tonight's topics and conversation. You know, especially dealing with the first conversation and topic we're going to be talking about tonight. So let me cue up a few things that I'm not going to cue them up. I'll just probably play them. So we got a few people that's watching. I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you are new to the channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button coming in. It helps the channel grow. I'm going to send out a few more links too, in case a few more people want to join us. So hopefully everybody had a great Friday leading up to this weekend. See if my homeboy Lonnie want to come in. I ain't heard from him in a while. Send out a link out to my other dog. Okay, I see I got somebody in there. I'm about to bring you in. What up, though, Big Kid? Oh my God. Bring him in and then he jumped right back out. So as you guys come in, make sure that you like it and you're sharing. That way people see and hear the conversation we're talking about. What up, though? We got a few people who's making a comment. Yo, what up, though? You want to come on in and join the chat? Put your email in the comments, and I'll bring you in. Oops, hold on, I'm about to bring you back, Big Ken. Big Ken,
What it do?
What's good, big dog?
What's good with you?
Not much. Go on ahead and introduce yourself to the show.
Big Hen from the 313. What up, though?
What up, though? What up, though, big dog? Well, look, welcome to the show, man. We just getting started up. I have not talked about what we're going to be talking about tonight. Just waiting on a few of my guests to come on in, so we're gonna go on ahead and start up the show. How's your Friday night been going thus far?
Oh, I ain't got no complaints. Just ate good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. What was on the menu?
Man, a couple loose burgers and some fries.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
You right. So now you needed something to sip on and something to put in the air.
it's over with.
There we go. There we go. So look, we're gonna go ahead and start it off, man. I sent a few invites out. We got DJ Shiny D who's going to be joining us. Let me send one more invite out to Real Talk with Big Dave. And then we'll go ahead and start. I'm gonna send one out to Joe too. But we're gonna go ahead and start this conversation up, Big Kid. I don't know if can you see me?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start the conversation up. There's been talks. You have a developer that's out of Southfield, Michigan, that's having talks that they're trying to offer the city $40 billion to revitalize and redo Belle Isle. They're trying to turn it into how can I put this? They're trying to turn it into a place where it's pretty much only going to be the fortunate, the upper class people are going to be living there. So pretty much they're going to do with the park and turn it into an attraction for the well-off, I should say. Poor people or middle class people will not be able to live on this island. So basically, us the citizens, we have to talk about this. We have to put a stop to this. We already allowed them to take the city park and turn it into a state park. So give me your thoughts, give me your opinion, on this. What? And I have actually video, of the developer who was talking about that I'll play. But give me your thoughts on this, man. You have a developer out of Southfield who's trying to turn Belle Isle, basically into a Dubai. So we had a few comments. Go on ahead, Big Ken, and give me your thoughts on that, and I'm gonna read some of the comments.
That's crazy right there. I really don't know.
Your phone back. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah. I really don't know what to say about that one, big dog. That's like I doubt if they do that. I don't think the community gonna. That's been like our getaway for the whole city. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. But we've allowed for them to turn the city. Belle Isle was actually a city park. We've allowed them to turn it into a state park. As of right now. So
Yeah.
now, like I said, this developer is having talks. With the people of the city, and they're trying to develop this into a place where it's going to be, like I said, the upper class, the upper echelon of people, is going to be residing on this place. They're going to have a high quality, high arc stores there. It'll be to the point where, people like me and you won't be able to afford to go on this island if this happens and this was to go down. So I got a few comments that I'm going to read, but Big Hen. Okay. At Dungo Bucket said, hell yeah, love seeing a loving couple talk. People be making some crazy comments, man. But at Trump said, stay out of the white neighborhoods. So yeah, man. So go ahead and just weigh in a little bit more on that. Belle Isle has been a family community park since the beginning. You know what I mean? They're trying to turn it into something that will take away family out of the city of Detroit. So give me your thoughts on this, and this is something that the citizens of Detroit have to put a stop to. We have to vote on this. We have to bring, our voices need to be heard about something about this. This is a big situation. We cannot let this city park, Belle Isle get from up under, the citizens of Detroit. So give me a little bit more thoughts on this conversation, Big Ken.
I'm just sitting up here like, when it comes down to that dollar bill, that's going to have to be a big dollar bill for him to take over that whole park to just develop it for what he wants to do. I don't see that happening. He might try, but I don't see them letting that happen. We got a new mayor. We got a lot going on in the city of Detroit, and that's one of the attractions that bring people from far and near. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
for them to do that, what they need to be doing is just developing Belle Isle more. You know, it's a lot more developing that
Exactly.
they
And I'm
need to
getting ready
do
to
to
play a
Belle
little
Isle.
bit of video with the young man who brought it to a lot of people's attention. Yeah, they need to develop, open back up the aquarium. You know, they had
Right.
I forget the name of the place, but it was for the birds where they flew around. Open that back up, redo it. You know, if you want to develop a place, go develop Bobolo Island. You know, do not try to. The people, the citizens of Detroit, we have to speak up. We have to put an end to these thoughts of what these developers, you know, and the people of the city are trying to do. If you want to go develop something, go develop Bobolo Island. You know, but I have video of this situation I'm getting ready to play here. And I had audio and video, but I'm just going to play the audio of this situation. But here we go. Let me know if you can hear this. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Shit will never
Can you hear this?
What
Yeah.
the people
Okay, here we go.
who live there making a month. Y'all see what the fuck they want to do to Belle Isle?
Okay, Belle Isle is Michigan's most visited state park.
They want to
And
turn it
now
into that.
the developer is proposing to change the island into a megacity full of entertainment, shopping, and mixed-use development.
But not everybody is on board with this new plan. 7 News Detroit reporter Evan Siri talked to the developer Thursday and has reaction from city and state leaders, plus park visitors.
Take a quick listen. You might hear just a few geese or birds chirping, and that's about it here on Belle Isle. It's always been like this as folks come here for a little bit of peace and quiet, but a developer has plans to change all of that, potentially turning this
Look at
park
this shit.
into a bustling
They want to make it
Yeah,
Dubai.
the largest privately funded project ever in the United States.
See, and this is the developer right here that's talking.
Developer Rod Lockwood has his eyes set on turning Belle Isle into a high-income, mixed-use housing and
High income.
retail district. A $50 billion investment, he
Just
says,
for the rich folks.
compares to sprawling cities like Dubai and would create 20,000 high-paying construction jobs over 10 years.
Up to about 50,000 residents, over 100 restaurants.
Mitchell Research and Communications polled nearly 200 Detroiters and
200.
over 600 Michiganders. Results showing 51% of Michigan voters and more than
So
two-thirds
they
of
interviewed
Detroit voters
800 people.
support Lockwood's
51%
proposal.
agree.
I don't think we need any more
That makes no sense.
buildings.
Everybody in Michigan should be
Not
against
among
this.
the ones in favor.
We just need places to come and be with the earth.
Yeah, bring back the aquarium. Bring back the zoo.
Take the poll results into consideration.
Yeah,
The
take
leadership
people
and
from
the
Michigan into
local
consideration.
officials need to pay attention to what Detroiters want.
I'm not in favor of this plan at all.
Yeah.
City Council member Mary Waters also against the proposal, which Lockwood
That's
said would
crazy.
add nearly $200 million in state taxes.
Belle Isle is a family island. People
Mhm.
cannot afford to live on an island like that.
The
Yeah,
DNR also responding. It says the proposal is not something Michigan is considering and is focused on investing in the historic park. On Belle Isle, Evan Siri, 7 News, Detroit.
I'm sure a lot more debate to come. We posted the Belle Isle rendering on Facebook.
Okay, and it's a little bit more to this video that I'm gonna let play, and then we'll get back to the commentary.
Of the comments.
That's right. Kevin called this a long time coming. Bill says no one wants anything like this, what's being proposed. Erica says absolutely not. And to fix up abandoned areas instead. And Dan
Mhm.
thinks a tiny main street and village on Belle Isle would be pretty cool.
Well, we invite you to weigh in.
Okay, here we go. Now listen to the rest of this, and then we'll end it.
You want to spend $50 billion turning Belle Isle from a family-oriented place, right? Where sometimes they have concerts or like conventions and all sorts of shit, in order to make America's Dubai specifically for high-income people. So no poor people allowed. They've got stores there, they've got restaurants there, so that these rich fucks don't gotta deal with the fucking poor. I guarantee when you go across that bridge to get in there, they'll do a credit check on your ass. But here's the thing. They used to have an aquarium. They used to have a zoo. Why don't you open those again? If you announce, hey, Belle Isle's opening an aquarium and a zoo again, the whole fucking state would be happy about that. Now, if you're not from Michigan, specifically the Detroit metro and Detroit, area, you don't understand how sacred Belle Isle is. It's a place to take your family, spend a family day, like have fun. I think you can even camp there. But, whatever, money, you know what I mean? But they also said, as you heard, that they asked 800 people. Yeah, because that's the majority of the state, right? They asked 800 people would they be in favor of it. And 51%, 51, keep that number in mind because that's the tipping point, right? 51% apparently said that they're cool with it. And guess what? That's a fucking lie. Ain't no fucking way anyone from the Detroit metro area is going to say, yeah, give Belle Isle to the rich people. Don't let us rednecks and ghetto people in. They need an island to themselves because Jeffries no longer exists. Like, are you fucking... It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this and come out. But yeah, that's a white boy who's talking that. So give me your thoughts. What you heard on here? This developer out of Southfield, he's trying to turn Belle Isle into pretty much a Dubai here in Detroit, Michigan. Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinion on what you've heard thus far, Big Ken.
Basically, the one guy agreed with me. They could. It's a lot that they can do to make Belle Isle a better place because, like he said, it's the zoo, the aquarium, and it's a whole lot more real estate that they could take advantage of on Belle Isle and make it into a bigger park if they want to invest the money. But see, this guy's coming talking about he want to invest it for the rich people. So that's not what the people in Detroit, Michigan gonna want. It's gonna
Exactly.
stay.
And the citizens of Detroit, we have to raise hell. We have to talk about this. We have to shut this idea down. You know what I mean? From the beginning, because Belle Isle is a family park. It's for people to come and bring their family to be able to gather, to have fun, and just enjoy, the outside, with no interference, without, all the attraction that this Dubai would bring, you know what I mean? So we have to, the citizens, we have to, raise hell. We have to shut this shit down, because at the end of the day, Belle Isle is a memorable place. I've been going there since I was a kid, since I was a child, like the guy said in the video, one of the things that they can do to attract and bring more people back to the city, which the park, they've redone a lot of the things, they put a lot of more attractions, on Belle Isle. Therefore, it'll bring more people to the park. But another thing that they can do that'll bring a lot more people back is bring the aquarium back, bring the bird thing back. I forget the name of the gym, the bird thing that they called it, but it's
Yeah, I know what you're
a
talking about.
gymnasium
Yeah,
for the birds, and then they actually
yeah,
had a something for the flowers that that would grow, but it's all type of shit that we had out there, that they can bring back. So this is something that the citizens of Detroit need to raise hell and talk shit about. Therefore, these plans won't even, come forward, or we won't even have these talks, because if they really want to build or develop something, they can go out there and develop Babylon Island. Therefore, they can be away from, people like me and you, the lower class or the middle class people, because it sounds like they're trying to, develop a place where it's only going to be the high, I would say the most influential people in the city of Michigan, because the poor and middle class people probably won't even be able to afford to even get on the island, let alone live on the island. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yep.
So, I just feel like they need to invest into the park period to make it
Yeah.
better, because it's always, I mean, I don't know if a lot of people been down to Belle Isle in a minute, but it's a lot better than it has been in years. It's much more cleaner. It used to be kind of like only a few different races coming down there, white and black. Last time I was down there, it looked like New York City, like a melting pot
Yeah,
of
you know,
people.
it's
So,
it's a
you know,
melting pot for, you know, all races to be able to come and bring their family. You know, I remember having picnics down there. I remember going when I was in elementary. You know, we went there on a school trip. You know, so Belle Isle has a lot of memories. You know, you can see deer out there in the wintertime, even in the summertime. You know, they would come up to you. You will be able to feed them out of your hand. You know, it's so many memories that me and you know, and the citizens of Detroit, you know, will that have, you know, this is something that needs to continue to, you know, it's a staple for the city of Detroit. You know what I mean? So this is something that we have to continue to talk about. I'm going to continue to talk about this, you know, until this is no more longer talked about. You know what I mean? So if they want to develop something, you know, go develop Babilo Island. You know, that's a much bigger place. It's a little bit more far out from, you know, the people that, you know, it sounds like that these people don't want to be around.
right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, they would be taking away our state park, and then what would we have?
Yeah, you know, nothing. You know, we would only have the few parks that we have, like Rouge Park, Chandler Park, and things like that. You know, so it's the citizens of Detroit that has to shut this shit down. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, you know, I'll give you the last words on that, Big Ken, but it's something that, you know, I haven't even took my youngest child there yet. You know, so it's been a park for, you know, Detroiters for, you know, since the beginning of time. You know, everyone has memories there. Most people went there on school trips. You know, like I said, it's a family park. You know, most people, you know, when they think of Belle Isle, they think of the Giant Slide, you know, and things like that. They just recently redid, you know, a lot of that, you know, the Giant Slide some years ago. You know, you guys got to
Right.
excuse me too. I've been sipping a little bit. It's Freestyle Friday tonight. So Big Ken, you know, give me your last thoughts on that conversation, and we'll go on ahead and switch it over to another topic.
I just feel like I don't think that that's gonna happen. It's Detroit is right now. Detroit is 80% black, and we got a lot of other races that don't move in the downtown area, and they enjoying Belle Isle, and it's not gonna work. That's not gonna happen. That's
No, not at
somebody.
all. I think the people will stop it. And it's not a white or a black thing. You know, white, blacks,
No,
Mexicans, everyone enjoys this park. Now, I'm going to read a few of the comments. At Cryptic World 7400 said, are y'all brothers? Yes, we are brothers. You got a lot of people here making stupid comments. I've been seeing the comments coming in, but you got a lot of people making homophobic comments that I'm not going to read. I can't understand why you got grown men in here making stupid, you know, comments like that. You know, this is a place where, you know, where we try to be serious and, you know, just have a great conversation without people bringing or having stupid shit to say. You know, at Jerry L. Hicks said, bring Church's chicken back. You know, I agree, you know, bring that back too. You know, put that back on the island. You know, things like that. You know, but the whole thing, man, keep it a family park. You know, nothing needs to be changed. Only thing that needs to be done is an upgrade. You know, I'm quite sure since they've redone Belle Isle within the last 15 years, it's probably generated, and now since they're charging to get on the park, you know, it should have generated millions of dollars. Therefore, the park should be able, the fee that they pay, you know, the fee that they're charging for people to get on the park, it should be able to maintain, you know, the park, and then continue for people, you know, to come and attract this park. It's a beautiful park. You know, so
yeah,
if you guys have not seen Belle Isle, that's one of a great place to go and visit. You know what I mean? If you're in the city of Detroit, you know, so I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Give me your thoughts on this developer trying to, you know, change pretty much Belle Isle into Dubai. You know, and this is their thoughts. You know, so Big Hen, it's Freestyle Friday, man. What else is on your mind?
Man, I got something on my mind I want to talk about.
Let's
It
talk
was
about it.
it was a summit that was held in Africa some days ago about reparations, and it was 123 votes that said that yes, they think that slavery was one of the worst atrocities against the African American and Africans, and we should receive what's our reparations was coming to us. And then you had unbelievable. This is, and a lot of people, might have something to say about what I'm finna say, but it's unbelievable that we got the United States, Israel, the two countries that we fighting for right now, black, white, whatever race you are, but
We're against
they
it.
they ruled against reparations for black people. And ain't
For
nobody
any
and ain't nobody talking about this. It was like four to five other countries that ruled against it. But I was just totally upset about the United States was number one on the list for not giving reparations to black people. And they want us to send our babies to war. They want us to act a certain kind of way and act like they don't want us to talk about slavery anymore and things of this nature. How, when you showing us blatantly, throwing it in our face that you don't care about black people, you voted against reparations.
listen,
If it was ever a chance for white people to say, "Hey, we're gonna make this happen," to make it at least say that we was wrong. We agreed that slavery was wrong. They saying that they don't agree and they don't feel like that they owe us anything. So I disagree, and I want to see what the rest of the world got to say because I haven't heard anything about it on Fox 2, 7, 4, or any of the big stations. And this is big news right here.
see, and you probably won't hear it on any of the big media stations. This is something that um this is my duty to be able to talk about stuff like that, and other YouTubers and other people with platforms to be able to talk about stuff like that. But when you have countries like you said was it Israel, Iran, and the United States that's
Israel,
against.
United States, Israel, and it was about three or four of them, but they ruled against it. But everybody else said yes. It was an obvious ruling to me, because obviously I'm black, but
Let me say
I
this: we
couldn't
can go
believe the
back to the
United
beginning
States
of
said
times
no.
where we can go back to when blacks were free. It was a few things that was promised. 40 acres and a mule. It was a lot of promises that were never held. One thing that most countries do when they go and bomb or they go and destroy a country, normally they pay restitution or some type of um what's the word that I'm looking for? And I don't want to say it, but and I'll just say reparations. They'll pay some type of reparations to those people. China. And I don't want to get off into and say the wrong words, but
And
it's
China,
more
the
than just.
Jews,
Yeah,
it was a
I
lot
was
of people that
that,
got
but I didn't want to say
reparations.
that. These groups have been paid reparations, for the United States, for any country to say that blacks are not owed reparations. It pretty much just shows you what they think about us, how they feel about us, and they don't want the playing field to be even. It will even up a lot of shit. It will make a lot of wrong rights. They don't want to make their wrongs right. So what we have to do as black folks, we have to force them to be able to make this shit right. You know what I mean?
That's
So
right.
go ahead, Big Ken.
It kind of disgusted me. I'm like, the United States said no. This is the second time. Like, I don't know if people know their history. Before Gaddafi died, he proposed that he would give African Americans in the United States of America reparations. The United States said no,
Right.
we don't want that.
Well,
So
I'll tell you, and one of the reasons why, because the demographics will change over. I'm not going to say overnight, but it would somewhat even the field between the dynamics of a certain group of people, and they don't want that. I believe that we're going to have to force their hand. We're going to have to do some type of withdraw to let them know that this is something that was promised to our people, and it's something that we are going to get eventually one day. So we just got to keep fighting. We got to keep talking about things like that. So what other countries that was for this that's on that list, Big Ken?
It was 123 other countries that was for it. It was way more countries that was for it. I think it was like, I'm not sure, 45 countries that said no to reparations, but everybody else said yes. So it was passed. It was passed. But what I'm saying is, without the United States saying yes, and all these countries with the most money, it's gonna be hard for us to get what we got. But it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because
I'm sitting here looking at these comments by these fools in the comments. Look, if you guys want to come on in, put your email in the link and I'll bring you on in. But at the end of the day, this is something that that is owed, to a group of people that eventually is going to get it. You know what I mean? I don't understand why, why people don't realize that, slavery, was a horrible thing that was done to Black people. It changed the demographics of our people. It changed the mindset of our people. And that's something that's owed to our people, for us to be able to take this money and pretty much rebuild, and try to build ourselves back up, and try to get that 40 acres and a mule that we were owed to. So it's a lot of things that go ahead, Big N.
I'm so glad that you got this platform, bro. I don't know what to do because I can't believe that we don't have Black people with money all over the world talking about this right now. Because when I seen it, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, it's an African summit and they brought it up. You know what I mean? It need to be an African, United States, everybody all over the world. And that was a summit for all over the world. Everybody voted on it. The details I'm not sure of, but I know United States, that's what I'm mad about. They voted against reparations.
I'm very mad at that. The United States
that
should have been
lets
the
you know
first country.
that
They should have been the first country that should have agreed on paying reparations. And we know they got the money to be able to pay us from what happened with the COVID situation. You know what I mean?
Even if we didn't get a dime, just for them to say slavery was wrong would mean everything, even though we definitely deserve everything we got coming to us. But for them to say, no, they don't believe in reparations for Black people, Africans, and African Americans is crazy.
You should. I don't know if you read the comments, but you got a lot of sound like racist motherfuckers in these comments.
Oh, most definitely, they out there, bro.
Thinking that
they out there. They don't believe in that.
Blacks, that's let you know that we are living amongst a lot of racist, motherfuckers that hate us. You know what I mean? That do not want to see, the playing field even. But eventually it's going to come back to that. What goes around comes around. Remember that.
That's it.
So you gotta remember that shit.
Why they got commercials and shit, want us to send our babies to war? All these new commercials. Oh, I've been peeping them. Want us to send our babies to war, but you motherfuckers don't want to say it was atrocious and the craziest thing that ever happened in history to any race. It's crazy. I already know they got a lot to say, bro. I know they got a lot to say.
But like I said, what goes around comes around. Right now, these guys are on top. We were on top at one point in time, and we just got to get our shit together. And at the end of the day, man, we just got to go ahead and withdraw our money out of this system and put our money into a system that's going to work for us. At the end of the day. This Jerry L. Hinks motherfucker, he's a true sellout.
Oh my God. You know,
Yeah, I'm
you got a
listen,
lot,
I'm
you
just
got a
sitting here
lot of, you got
looking
a
at the
lot of
comments.
black people that don't believe that we deserve reparations, bro. And it's sad. If you don't think that we deserve money, you should think that we deserve their vote to say that slavery was wrong in the United States of America. After all slavery did, after all the black people did for America, this bitch was built on
Yeah,
our back,
and then for
and
all
y'all
you
don't want to
racist
stand up.
motherfuckers who making these racist ass comments, if you don't believe that the money should be paid, at least admit that slavery and all that fuck shit was some bullshit and it was wrong. You know, at least
That's
admit
it.
that part.
That's it. You know the money gonna be held to get. We already know that. But what I'm looking
No
at
one's
is
begging for the money. You don't see that
not
one
at
black
all.
person begging. We're asking for something that should have been given back in 1865. You know, so at the end of the day, and then the money should not go to each individual. It should go back to rebuilding up some type of land for our people to go and be, you know, and make ourselves great again. You know, because for the most part, you know, most black folks really don't have, you know, no ill will or ill intention against white folks. You know, it's more like them that has a problem with us. You know, so at the end of the day, this money will go towards trying to build, you know, build a land back up for us, you know, so that we can call our own. You know, because most of
That's
them
it.
really don't want to be around us. You know, and I'm not going to say all, you know, because there are some good white folks, you know, that's not on this fuckery shit, you know, that agree what we're talking about.
If they could reverse it and white people was black, they will understand what we talking about. You know, like that one Charlie Brown skit when he asked him, he said, Charlie Brown, he asked Black Charlie Brown, why do your people still complain about things that happened 500 years ago? And he said, okay, let me ask you something. If I knocked all the fucking teeth out your mouth, would you remember that? And would you still want to talk about that? He said, I guess I see your point now. Because wouldn't want nobody knocking all my teeth out my mouth. So yeah, we feel like we don't got all our teeth knocked out our mouth, and they still knocking them out because you're trying to say in the United States of America that they don't came up with
Somebody said, he
a,
said,
a no vote.
y'all inferior, y'all know that, you know, but you don't want to, y'all really don't want us to talk about the truth about who's really the inferior, you know, because every time y'all walk out the house, the sun is trying to kill your ass. You know, and that's for non-melanated people. You know, for these racist motherfuckers who want to make these racist comments.
So I'm here for them, bro, because they know we speaking the truth right now. All that don't make it a difference. We know that we built the United States of America on our back, and they don't want to give us what we got coming because they want to keep us down. That ain't gonna happen. One
You
day
know,
we
but
will get
eventually
what
it's
we
going to
got coming.
happen. You know, it's going to
One day
happen
we're
one
gonna get what we
day.
got coming. And this
Yeah.
ain't on no racist shit at all. This is just facts.
You know, and even if it doesn't happen, we're gonna get this reparations one way or another. You know, by withdrawing our money. And this is something we should have done years ago. You know, we need to withdraw our money and stop putting it into these white institutions and start putting them back in our own institutions. You know, and black businesses. You know, making that black dollar flip 6 or 7 times before it goes back out, you know, and to our counterparts' hand, you know, but eventually, you know, we'll get on the same mind track, we'll get on the same page, and we'll get back to, you know, leading like how we once used to lead. I'm not going to even read these. It's
I
so crazy.
already know, bro. But
At
that's
the end of
good.
the day,
Let them come on with the comments. We need the feedback.
and
We
I've been
need
sick
that.
a little bit, so I'm a little tipsy. So, you know, next time on a conversation like this, and this definitely is a great conversation, you know, for people to think, you know, and even you got a lot of black folks in here who's thinking that that blacks are not owed reparations, you know, and that's crazy to even think about, you know. But at the end of the day, even for the whites who even say that, you know, that just let them know, you know, that just let us know what they think about blacks, how they feel about us, you know, and it is what it is. you know, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised when I hear racist comments, you know, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about what race is going to dominate. You know, we got to get back to dominating.
That's it.
That's it.
We got to turn the White House black, and we got to turn the Senate mixed or black or something of that nature. Because you know, when you watch the Senate, all the meetings and everything, it looked like a whitewash to me, and ain't got nothing to do with being racist. It is what it is.
Yeah,
But
you know, at the
I'm
end of the day,
just
once all these old, really racist white motherfuckers die off, who's running a lot of shit, you know, we get a lot of new faces in. You know, a lot of this talk is going to change. You know,
yeah,
and we're never going to let this shit die. We're going to always talk about this
never.
shit, you know, because this is some shit that always needs to be talked about, you know, until that money is paid back.
Yeah, I couldn't believe this shit, bro. I couldn't believe that this shit wasn't talked about more than what it was. I'm like, how
Yeah,
dare
you
the
know,
United States? How dare the United States not vote for reparations for us? But you know, it's a lot of shit that ain't been talked about. Do you know Obama, the blackest president, the first black president, voted against reparations too?
well, you know
Yeah,
what? I wouldn't even call him the first black president. You know, but at the end of the day, man, I'm just sitting here looking at all these
it's
motherfucking
sad.
comments. It's sad. You know, but I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Victim mentality. You know, that's crazy that people are saying so. Look, there's no victim mentality. Go back and look at the history of slavery and just blacks from slavery all the way up until now. There's no victim. No one's playing victim. You know, I can't believe like this is crazy, you know, but look, I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Give me your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. You know, I've seen what a lot of people in here think. You know, most people think that blacks are due reparations, and eventually one day it'll get paid. I'm just sitting here looking at these comments, man, and it just got me baffled. Yeah, but at the end of the day, man, this is some serious talk. These are great talks that we need to continue to have, man, until, you know, this situation is handled, you know, correctly. You looking at the comments too now, huh? But look, I want to talk about this. Listen, this whole conversation, I guarantee you, let's talk about this Druski, you know, skit that he did with Charlie's Kirk wife. I guarantee you a lot of these white motherfuckers will have a lot to say about that. Now, what do you guys think about that Druski skit that he did with Charlie? And I didn't even know here, and I'm gonna bring that up too. I don't know if you're familiar with who Druski is, Big Ken. He did a skit
I know who
on
Druski
Charlie's
is.
Kirk
I
wife.
know who Druski is.
Yeah, well, I don't, and I was not familiar with who Charlie's Kirk wife was, you know, and what her stance was, but apparently, it was a skit done by Druski. A lot of people were offended, and a lot of people thought it was funny. Give me your thoughts and give me your opinions on if you saw that. And I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. I'll pull it up that way we can play it. And give me 1 second. Can you still see me, Big Ken?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I'm about to pull it up that way. We'll show it and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so here, give me 1 second. I'm about to pull it up. But yeah, man, you know, you had a lot of people talking about that, and that's probably why, you know, you didn't have a lot of people speaking on or making comments or talking about the whole reparations thing, you know, because most people was tied up or talking about this Druski bullshit.
And that's
You know,
some
which I like
bullshit.
Druski. He's funny. But here we go.
Yeah, but you know, it shouldn't hold the candlestick to
And
that.
fair use. Tell me if you can see this, Big Ken.
If I can see what?
I don't know why they playing it. Hold on, give me 1 second.
That's why we say our prayers. And we are all.
Oh, it should be in the screen. I don't know why it's not showing. Hold on, let me get.
Yeah, I see it now.
Here, hold on.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nash Show, and welcome to Coolin' TV.
Hold on. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Here we go. So let me fast forward this up. And fair use.
TV, man. Hey, I apologize for the long wait for this video, man. All right, I've been doing a lot of other things trying to get my other businesses right. With multitasking, bro. So I had to one thing to this one is basically mocking Erica Kirk. It's how conservative women act. That's the title of the video. Bro, we just gonna cut straight to the chase.
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
Great to pray.
Yeah, I can't hear it now.
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. We are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the Holy Blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pup cup.
Okay, and I'm
organic. Yes, everything organic.
Four, 3, 7. Are you good? 4, 3, 2. Hold your chest lifted. We're gonna.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs.
And this is why they don't want us to get them reparations.
Because they are the ones who matter most.
Now, bro, I don't know who the hell helped Druski out with his wardrobe. Bro got.
Okay, so look, give me your thoughts. Give me your opinion on thus far on what you saw Druski say and do, man. He's hilarious. White folks were offended by this. Give me your thoughts on that. Did he go too far, or is it something that that they should have a sense of humor and should laugh at?
Druski a wild boy for that. He a wild boy for that. I just think that he was trying to be his funny self. He might have took it a little bit too far. He might have did, but it was comedy.
Yeah, in my opinion, I don't think comedy, you can never take it too far. You always have to have a sense of humor. It takes the edge off of everything. And just like that, I'm not going to say black folks did not complain, but remember, he just recently did a skit about the black church, and a lot of people got offended, but a lot of people are complaining. You have a lot of white folks speaking, a lot of conservative people speaking up about this skit today. So at the end of the day, man, I think comedy shouldn't. It shouldn't offend no one. You know what I mean? It should. Everyone should have a sense of humor. You should let your hair back. And just go with the flow. Because like I said, at the end of the day, Druski is just pretty much a comedian who does skits. He doesn't go after just one group or one race. He does it to his own race. You know what I mean? So people just need to relax and sit back and and just enjoy the Druski show.
They trying to get out. They trying to get rid of freedom of speech. You see what they did to the comedians talking about the president and the election and all of that. You know, we got to be careful
And I'm
of
gonna
them
read a
trying
few
to
of these
take
comments.
our rights away and stuff, because slowly but surely they trying to tell us how to act, what to say, how to dance, when to dance. So it's a lot of things going on that we need to be paying attention to. So just beware of that.
Right. And I want to read a few of the comments. If you okay, these comments are kind of coming in, but here we go. Let me put it up. I laugh when here we go. I'm not gonna read that. These motherfuckers are making some stupid comments, but here, let me find the one that I wanted to show. I'll show this one. Say laughing out loud. If you got offended by a skit comedy video like that, you don't need to be online. And I agree with you. I agree with you on that one, Jerry. You said you've been saying a lot of fuck shit all night, you know, but I will agree with you on that. I put that up there. You know, if you can't, you know, have a sense of humor, you don't need to be online. You know, so at the end of the day, that's all he was doing. He was just trying to make people laugh. It was a skit, you know, at the end of the day. I understand what happened to her husband, you know, but he was not portraying anything that happened to Charlie Kirk. It was just a wife, you know, so I don't see anything was wrong with that. It's like you said, it's freedom of speech, you know, and with that situation, it was just a skit, you know, so people have to lighten up and that's it. You know, at the end of the day, I have nothing wrong with what Druski did, you know, because like I said, he goes after everybody, you know, not just white. He goes after blacks. He goes after pretty much what's ever in the mainstream media.
They talked about Jesus Christ.
Yes, sir. Yep. And I had DJ Shiny D was supposed to be coming up here joining us about this this Charlie Kirk what is Druski skit situation, but she did not show up. But you know, I want to give a shout out to DJ Shiny D. You know, but look, I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Give me your thoughts on this whole Druski skit. Do you think he went overboard, or do you think people need to lighten up and have a sense of humor? You know, but Big Hen, you know, it's been 51 minutes. We've been on here. Give me your thoughts, your last thoughts on this Druski situation, man. Do you think he went overboard, or do you think people just need to, you know, relax and chill?
You know, that's one. It's one of those things where, you know, somebody passed, everybody gonna be sensitive about it. But you know, people die every day, and people make soon the next day after you die, it's gonna be a joke made out of it. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, it was all jokes made after you know, after they passed. So yeah, I think people gonna have to lighten up. There's nothing you can do about somebody talking about you. I don't like about a person talking about my weight, but you know, what can I do about it?
1127 said, "Oh, here's yeah. You better hope you get old. You better hope you.
Yeah, you better hope you get. You better hope you get a go. Some of this gray on you.
That's like that, right? You know, you better hope you get old and distinguished. You know, a lot of these motherfuckers want to die young. You know, so I see what I see a lot of these people at Bill's that's been 3929 RIP Charlie Kirk. So, you know, you see who's he's with, you know, so he's one of the guys that's been making a lot of, you know, to me, racist comments. You know, there's been a lot of comments on here, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, I don't see nothing wrong with a little humor, a little comedy. You know, that's what Druski does, you know, so I can't see why people feel offended by that. If I were him, I would double down and go harder. I'm far from a racist. Yeah, but Big Hen, you know, give me your last thoughts, man, on these conversations we've been talking about. You know, we'll start back with the whole Belle situation. You know, in my opinion, I think Belle is a family park. It needs to continue to be reserved for the families of the city of Detroit. You know, this whole trying to turn Belle Isle into a Dubai, you know, go and try to turn Babylon Island into Dubai. You know what I mean? Leave Belle Isle alone, it's a family park. It's for the citizens of Detroit, and it will remain that way. The citizens of Detroit will never allow no shit like that to happen. So give me your last thoughts. Give me your opinion on that situation, Big N.
Until we get some oil spouts running all around the city of Detroit, where the whole city, state can be rich like Dubai. I don't see where that fit in with the poor people and the people that got very low income to very wealthy income. It's a national park, so I feel like it should be left alone.
Muslims are not taking over Detroit. You got Bill Desmond 3929 said Muslims are taking over Detroit. That's not true. And then you got motherfuckers that making crazy comments talking about the white man will always be master. No. The white man has only been master for about 400 years. You got to remember, we ruled for dynasties, and that shit is going to come back around. So you same motherfuckers, which you probably won't live to see it, but your great grandchildren will, and we're going to remember all the same bullshit that's been going on, and that's what most of you motherfuckers are afraid of. That we're going to remember what was done to us. But look, give me your last thoughts on the on the whole Belle and the whole Druski, Tyler, Kirk situation, and we're going ahead and close out the show here. Let everybody know where they can reach you. Give me your last words, and let everybody know where they can reach you at.
Right. As of now, you can reach me on the What Up Though show on Freestyle Fridays. We're going to have a whole lot of conscious stuff to talk about and whatever else you want to talk about. But on some real shit right now.
You may not be afraid, but the people that's running this and they know what's up, they're afraid. That's why they continue to do the things that they do, because they know, eventually this shit is going to change. It's going to go back to eventually how it started. Things always go back to how it starts. You motherfuckers only been running shit for about 400-500 years. That shit will end eventually. Especially at the rate and the shit that your leaders are doing. That shit is going to end. Because it's a lot of crooked, dirty shit that got you motherfuckers where y'all at now. And don't get me wrong, I'm far from racist. Most white people that know the real deal, they understand, when you have people that, that have conversations like that, at the end of the day, but
listen to what I'm finna say. After the atrocities and the things that we went through, being raped, being just tortured, being called 3/4 of a man, just everything that they did to us. There's no way that black people can be racist.
At all. See, and what white people, and listen, I really don't even want to get off into this conversation tonight, because what I really need to realize is you guys are just nothing more than a defect, a defective. Let me reword this right. You know what? I won't even go there on this conversation. We'll leave that for another conversation, and we'll go there. But at the end of the day, what normally, how things normally start, it always come back to the beginning. You got to excuse me. Like I said, at the end of the day, I wouldn't give you 1/4, forget about 3/4. See, and that's another, conversation that, you motherfuckers called us 3/4 of a human, that we wasn't human. For any motherfuckers to say some shit like that blacks were looked at, or you, your forefathers looked at us that we were 3/4 of a human, that we was not human, that was some bullshit. For you motherfuckers to try to back that shit up,
made the rest of the world feel some kind of way to make it right about slavery by saying that you should not feel bad about enslaving these people because they are beneath the grace of God. I remember what was said,
And this
and what I'm
motherfucker said
saying
that
is,
means you will be swinging from trees again. See, this just lets you know
oh,
how
that's funny.
racist white motherfuckers are. Most black people are not even racist. You know, we just speak
There's
up
no way that
about
we
the
can
things
be
that happen
racist.
to our peoples. But you
There's
know,
no
at the
way
end
that
of the
we
day,
can
that's
be
why
racist.
I don't even like talking about shit like that. But you know, I love to see the racists come out, and I love to hear, you know, and I love to see. I love the comments. You know, I love to see and hear all these comments that these motherfuckers been putting up here.
But listen to this. If anybody on this planet should be racist towards another race, it should be us.
Listen, and what white folks need to really realize, you are the minorities of this world. You know, once everybody wake up and come together as one, you know, that's when the shit is really going to hit the fan. You know, but look, at the end of the day, man, you know, it's about, you know, the human race. You know, most black folks don't look at color. We try to live our lives. We try to get along. We try to do the things that we need to do to raise our family and try to, you know, navigate through this racist fucking, you know, world that we've been living in, you know, at the end of the day. You know, so it's a fact that blacks can't be racist anyway. We don't control any fucking thing, you know, so to be able to be racist anyway. You know, so at the end of the day, man, you know, we're just trying to build our people up. We're trying to change the mindsets of our people, you know, so we can get back to being great. You know what I mean? You know, because once we get out of this bullshit, and once we pretty much drop the bad, what's the word that I'm looking for? Once we get rid of all the bullshit out of the communities, we'll get back to being great. And that's it. You know, so I'm loving these comments. I'm loving seeing all this. This should be an eye-opener, you know, for most people that see this type of shit. You know, this is how most people think about, you know, a certain group of people. You know, and thank you
Yeah,
guys for
this
showing who you are. You know, and I love that.
right. This will let you know that racism still exists in
Yeah.
America big time.
And it'll
Because
always
for
go on, you know, it's always going to go on, you know, but, you know, my thing is, you know, and most of these motherfuckers that's making this comment, they won't be living to see the change that's going to happen when it do happen. You know what I mean? So look, at the end of the day, man, it's been a great conversation. You know, these are conversations that we're going to continue to have, that we need to continue to bring to the forefront. Reparations is a thing that needs to be, you know, taken care of, so that you guys won't even have to worry about us talking about this anymore. You know, I think the whole thing, Big Ken, is that, you know, I think they know once reparations is paid out, you know, that we'll go back to being great, you know, and a lot of shit that's going on now won't be able to go on.
facts.
You know, so that's most white folks' fear, is that once reparations is paid, blacks will come out of the state and the mindset that we're in. You know, because I don't, and I'm gonna be honest, you know, and I don't believe reparations should go to any individual person. I think it should go to building, you know, up an environment, up some land for people to be able to come back together like Black Wall Street. You know, because look, a lot of white people don't understand this shit. You know, blacks did not need anything, or didn't even depend on whites, you know, back during Black Wall Street at all. You know, and it was the jealousy and the envy, you know, that they saw. You know, we were building, we were doing better than our oppressors at that time. You know, and they know this shit. You know, go doing your research. Do your research.
That's
You
all
know,
they gotta do
most
is
of you
go
guys,
to
all you
every time
racist
we try to build
motherfuckers,
some shit up.
like you got this Bill Mack guy. He keep putting up EB. Listen, most white folks it's more white folks that's getting EBT and food stamps than blacks, I should say.
Facts.
You know, so you guys got to stop saying that stupid shit. It's more white folks that's on EBT and food stamps than it is Mexicans and blacks, and that's a fact. You know, so only at the end of the day, man, you know, most blacks are just concerned about just trying to change the mindsets of blacks. You know, we're not thinking about, you know, what our counterparts are doing. We're just trying to, you know, make it better for our next generations, for our next generation coming up, and we're just trying to make it a better place. You know, it's motherfuckers like this, you know, that make it hard for, you know, for blacks and whites to be able to get along. You know, because I don't have a problem, you know, with whites that don't have a problem with us. You know, because we have to be able to get along together. You know, at the end of the day, we are a human race. You know, and that's what, you know, and I'm gonna keep it real. This is something that you white motherfuckers have done. You separated the human race and made it until what it is now. You know, once we get back to being human, the human race will be more of we'll be more togetherness, I should say. You know, it shouldn't even be about
bro.
Race, you know, but this is something you motherfuckers turned it into.
Bro, let me say this. Only thing anybody got to do, any race of people, is go Google how did the human race start, and it will tell you how it started. Google,
look,
Google gonna tell you.
Listen, I'm a little tipsy. I've been tipsing, but listen, I haven't even came out with none of the facts or just none of the knowledge that I got. Really, I just been talking shit. You know, so right back with these same motherfuckers who've been talking shit, you know, but if I hit them with the really real knowledge, you know, a lot of these motherfuckers.
Tell them to go Google who started the human race. It's Google has it. Everybody likes to Google everything, so tell them to Google that.
No, look, only thing these motherfuckers can talk about is the shit that they most motherfuckers won't go, even go and do their own research to know you know, about the history and what's been going on throughout this world, you know, throughout this country, I should say, since the beginning.
So when I said that, I was saying that to say all people come from Black African Americans.
I'm glad you said it.
Go Google and look at what it say about the human race. All people come from the dark original people from Africa. Everybody.
Yeah.
So
you know,
we cannot,
you know, most white folks probably would kill themselves if they actually, you know, and the white, most of the white, what's the word I'm looking for? Intelligent whites know this, that, you know, everything comes from, originally comes from black. You know, they're nothing but a genetic defect. And that's it, you know, of a black person. That's it. You know,
every race comes from black people. I mean, you know, that's why we looked at like we looked at. It's like they tried to kill the roach, but the roach is still here. We still here.
Once they realize that, man, you know, I think a lot of this racist shit will go out the motherfucking window once they realize that, you know, they're nothing but blacks. You know, that's what a genetic defect. That's it. That's it. You know, because
that's the part that. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
that's the part that I believe that I got a lot of stuff that I want to say on the next show, but I believe that
somebody
you
said
know
you are. Go look up your facts. Your white scientists will tell you this.
Yeah, I know it hurt. I know it hurt for another race to hear that they come from another race, but it's fact. Go Google who started the human race.
Because guess what? Two white folks can't make anything but another white folks.
That's
Black
it.
Can make every color of the spectrum.
That's it.
Yeah. So look, I don't have anything else to add, man. You know, I love the comments. It's been a great show. It's been a great discussion. You know, at the end of the day, you know, Belle needs to continue to be what it is, a family part. You know, the citizens and the community needs to continue to fight. we need to speak up. This is something that I'm going to talk about, pretty much until this discussion is no more. They need to go and develop Babylon Island, turn that into Dubai. But far as Belle Isle, it needs to stay a family park as it has always been. At the end of the day. Yep. So look, I don't have anything else to add, Big Ken. If you have anything else to add, go on in and add. If not, I'm gonna go on in and close out. I'm just sitting here, in awe by the comments, man. It's definitely been a great show. I definitely love the comments. Negative or not, I accept all the comments. No, I'm gonna keep. You know what? Go ahead, Big Head. So look, let everybody know where they can reach you, man, and go on in and we're gonna go on in and close it out.
You can reach me at the What Up Though Show on Freestyle Fridays. Y'all keep it real, and we're going to keep this conversation going. Ain't no racist people on this show. Black people cannot be racist. We was the most discriminated against. We was the most everything against. So any white people that got anything to say negative about black people being racist, you keep that in your head.
Yeah, so look, I don't have anything else to add. It's been another one. It's your boy, Dame D, and I am out. Peace. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, too.